let's begin this hour in the aviation sector, where the spokesperson of the Airline Operators of Nigeria, Professor Okonkwo, is seeking government intervention in reducing interest rates for airline operators from the current 30% double digit to a single-digit rate. Okonkwo was speaking to journalists in Abuja, where he attributed the positive changes in the aviation sector over the last 1 year to President Tinubu's renewed hope mandate. He's asking for improved government policies to reduce interest rates to single digits while calling on Nigerian passengers to be more empathetic of airline operators.
Today, the forex policy, the foreign exchange regime that was implemented by this current administration of President Tinubu had made a whole lot of difference. Those challenges and nightmares are over. Now, we do not have to wait for the bank to give us any bid. So far you have your Naira, you're able to source your foreign exchange from the official I&E window. This has made a whole lot of difference. That will help the growth of this industry will be for government to develop a program that will give a window access to local operators to single-digit loans. They need to cut down on the charges the operators pay different agencies of government. They know they're about 20. So the margin of this business is very low. And if you have to meet all those charges, NCA, NAMA, and so on, FAN, you are left with nothing. It's affecting us. We need to have more money to be able to develop, expand, and then also improve a working environment for our staff. So I really think that access to credit is very, very critical because we are competing with people who have access to foreign exchange credit at cost of 3%, 5% maximum, and aviation is a global village.
Well, let's bring in the Executive Director and Chief Operating Officer of United Nigeria Airline, Osita Okonkwo. Thank you so much for being on the news tonight.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, we listened to your chairman there earlier today speaking with journalists, and the fulcrum of his conversation was the cost of doing business, really. And he's calling for a single-digit loan by the government. So this is not a bailout you are seeking. You are asking for a more friendly loan. But speak to us about this. How practical is this? And how much of a change will it really bring to the industry?
Huge change, you know. Whether it's practical, I think it is.
Okay.
It takes the will of government to do that. It's not the first time it has been done. It's even existing already through a number of channels, the Bank of Industry. What we are just asking is that one is created and dedicated to aviation. Again, it takes the will of government as the government makes efforts to reduce inflation, bring down interest rate generally for the whole economy. I think this will be an important intervention, give a breathing space and allow airlines to begin to make the huge capital investments that are needed.
Okay, you said this is already existing through the Bank of Industry. So why are you not accessing such facilities?
We do, but you know, Bank of Industry is for everybody.
Yes.
And the demand outweighs the supply. Yes. So it's just a question of doing more and doing something different for the aviation industry, giving the huge capital that is needed.
Great. But there are those who will ask, I mean, when you now have such an attractive loan in place, some wonder, wouldn't there be the tendency to then have unsustainable debts by the operators because then you seek more loans and get more loans and then don't meet your obligations?
If you are paying single-digit interest, why will you default? Already you have solved half of the problem. First access, second cost. Then I don't see why somebody who has 9% 8% will default. Currently, rates are in the region of 25 to 30%. In fact, that is an invitation to default. So basically, it's helping. It's definitely will increase the credibility, the liquidity available to airlines to operate better and to make the required capital investment in aircraft, infrastructure, and staff training.
Let's talk about sustainability. I mean, this is a plea to the government. Should this plea or this single-digit loan not come from the government anytime soon, how sustainable is the aviation sector and the operators? How sustainable is this 25 to 30% loan you're currently getting? Are we likely to see a failed sector anytime soon? Should this continue?
Not at all, not at all. It's just that it may delay certain investments. It may delay certain growth projections. But the airlines have been very resilient, very determined, very viable, even with the current situation. Imagine what it will be when things get much better. We will continue to appeal to government. It's not like government is Father Christmas, but we know that it has the capacity, both in terms of its policy and even access to resources to make some of these policy.
Great. Another thing he mentioned was the issue of multiple taxations. I think I heard him say about 20 different agencies that are taxing airline operators in Nigeria. Is the government aware of all of these agencies? Are they all government agencies? And how does it affect your bottom line as a business?
We have to make an important clarification here. So these are not taxes.
Okay.
They are charges. Okay. And very few are, maybe one or two may be classified as taxes, but most of them are charges. And they go mostly to government agencies. So our assumption is that government is aware of them, whether it is FAN, whether it's NEMA, whether it's NCAA, they all know about it. And some of them are indirect because they are on fuel suppliers who will eventually pass it on to the operators, or on ground handlers who eventually pass it on to operators, and then finally to the passengers. So definitely government is aware of them.
Is this the sole reason where Nigerians are having to fly more expensive these days? Because at some point, airline operators were complaining about the scarcity of Jet A1, the expensive Jet A1 they have to get, maintenance fee and all of that. But now I hear these charges and a few taxes. Why are the flying public having to pay so much more? I mean, you're praising the government Forex policy, so now you're accessing Forex easier. There's no scarcity of Jet A1. Perhaps it's not as expensive as it used to be, because we don't hear you complain about that. But why are we paying so much more to fly?
Very, very positive developments, and we recognize the efforts of government. We thank them. But as Oliver Swiss, we always want more. All because of the traveling public. It's not like they're paying more. If you look at it...
Well, we are paying more. I mean, by this time last year, 2 years ago, we're not paying as much.
Yeah, in dollar terms, you are paying less today. Remember the exchange rate then, 2 years, but now you are paying less. And even in naira to naira, parity of purchasing power of the naira, traveling public is basically paying less, and operators are doing everything possible to keep fares as low as they can.
Can they come lower?
Fares are already very low, depending on
at this current rate?
Yes, they already. You can travel to Abuja for less than 95,000, 90,000. I think the important point we have to make here to the traveling public is to know when to buy, how to buy. Airlines have all manners of packages, family and friends, discount, this, that. You just need to take advantage of them. Buy in good time. Don't wait until the last day, few hours to your, because at times that's how the airlines try to manage their revenue. So fares, I can assure you, compare it with any country in Africa, fares in Nigeria are the cheapest you can ever find.
Okay.
in dollar terms.
Very quickly before we go, there's also the issue of cancellations and delay, which he also touched on today. I mean, nobody benefits from this cancellation and delay, as I understand it. Even the airlines, I mean, you lose your rotation, and when that happens frequently, you lose billions of naira. The passengers are left stranded, frustrated. Who do we blame? He says, you know, we should not blame operators. Who then do the passengers blame? And how do we really get, you know, succor?
Yeah, so you are spot on your analysis. And we recognize that no operator will wake up one morning, cancel a flight because it has pleasure in doing that. The bottom line is that we must operate safely, and we must ensure that passengers get to their destination on time and in safe condition. So whenever anything happens, it may be as a result of weather that you can do nothing about, because there are certain parameters that you must meet before you take off and land.
We don't just blame weather conveniently?
That is one. No, nobody will do that.
Okay.
Second, if at the point of any time in the flight there are issues that you needed to sort out, you must sort them out, go through the required statutory filings and so on before you move. There are times, you know, the way the airports are, there are delays, there are breakdowns. Once a particular flight is delayed, it multiplies, rolls over into other flights. But what I can assure the traveling public is that, yes, the operators may have one or two issues to resolve in terms of delays, and I'm sure everybody, including United Nigeria Airlines, is working towards resolving them. Our objective is to take passengers to their destination as they have planned, in one piece. And any time we don't do that, it calls for us to look back and find out why. And we work with the authorities, we work with the passengers, we try to make them good to ensure that everybody is happy at the end. But I can assure you, the issue of cancellations are something that very soon will be a thing of the past. Although there will always be, because of some other reasons, other than operator-related reasons. Yeah. But on the side of the operators, every operator is working hard to eliminate or reduce them.
I think I can say hallelujah to that. We look forward to those days. Mr. Osita Okonkwo is the Executive Director and Chief Operating Officer of the United Nigeria Airlines. Thank you so much for being on the news tonight.
Thank you for having me.
We do appreciate it.